Justin James is a bad man. J.J. Watt has been one of the premier defensive players in the league for a number of seasons. Not recently, but yeah. Five-time first-team All-Pro, a three-time Defensive Player of the Year, 99 career sacks. And for a stretch from 2012 to 2015, you can make a very good case that he was one of the most dominant players in National Football League history. It just is what it was, right? But he's getting a little bit old. 31 years of age, and before this season, he's had only one healthy season out of four. So, is the bloom off the rose? Sure. Can he still play? Yeah, but he's not the old J.J. Watt, which is fine. But also, he recently said that he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild in Houston as their season down the pooper, right? And you understand why, because even though they have Deshaun Watson and Justin Jefferson. J.J. Watt does love Houston, has done a ton for the community, especially after the hurricane, and they love him. He loves Houston, everything there. But coach is fired, even though they didn't exactly see eye to eye. There's rumors of them having a shouting match, which, if you can yell at Bill O'Brien, that just makes you human. You're a normal person, right? But also, they don't have a first or second round pick, which is a shame because those would be extremely high, potentially top 5 in the upcoming draft. Plus, 1-6 team. I mean, the defense, are you really inspired by anything that is going on there? Not particularly. And he's not getting any younger. He's never been to the Super Bowl. He wants to join a contender. Well, Justin, may we sell you on the best 2-5 team in NFL history? Nah, come on one time. Even though you grew up in Wisconsin as a diehard Packer fan, you probably hate the Vikings. Give it to me, baby. Yeah, so why not go after in free agency after the Texans cut him, the famously Gophers tight end commit when he was coming out of high school. Yeah. And he would have been here and probably would have been up there with Gronk as one of the best tight ends of all time, except they fired Glenn Mason to hire Tim Brewster, getting the chili hot. But yeah. So question is, first, money. So next year, J.J. Watt will be in the final season of a 6-year, $100 million deal, and he's due to make a $17.5 million base with zero guaranteed. So I think there's zero chance that he sees a nickel of that money. I think the Texans will cut him, or, maybe they get it back together, small extension at a lower rate. It's possible, right? But let's just say that they do cut him. I don't see there being a huge market, because he is a big-time name, but the game hasn't been where it used to be. It's certainly not $17.5 million per year up there. So he's got 22 pressures, 3 sacks this season, which is fine, but he's certainly not peak J.J. Watt. And I actually see his market breaking down something like Ndamukong Suh has been for the last couple off seasons, where you wait. Yeah, big-time name, but certainly is not that same player anymore. Never really getting the offer that you want, and then eventually Suh settled for a 1-year, $8 million deal with the Bucks. So now J.J. Watt at 32 next year, is he worth $17.5 million? No. Is he worth 8? Hell yeah, absolutely. And also, well, what about the Vikings cap situation? Well, what about it? Anthony Barr, Kyle Rudolph, maybe even Anthony Harris either come off the books or won't be retained. There's always money in the banana stand. So, yeah. And also, how would J.J. Watt integrate into this defense? So his best position has been that 5-tech spot, 3-4 defensive end. He is a 3-4 cat. But, the Vikings... It was talked about that the Vikings could implement more multiple fronts this offseason than the Rona hit, but next year, full offseason, OTAs, training camp, preseason, perhaps that is in the mix, because the Vikings do have the personnel. A lot of the guys up front could potentially be better suited in a 3-4, plus Dom Capers in the building. He's a 3-4 guy for life. And then also Watt, if the Vikings do stick with the 4-3, would obviously be an asset, could kick inside and do some damage at that 3-tech spot as well. So is it interesting? Yeah. Is it unlikely? Nah. TBD. I think if and when J.J. Watt does get cut by the Texans, I think it could be a game on where the name will be fascinating. I think every single fan base will be like, hey, that guy. But then when it comes down to it, it'd be like, oh, if he stays healthy this year and he still stays relatively productive, there'll only be 2 seasons out of 5. He'll be 32 years old, and he's not the guy he used to be. So I think the market on him could be extremely tepid, especially with the salary cap potentially being lowered down to 175. So I think the Vikings could see some value in it. certainly don't overspend. I mean, it'd be a fun story, but and he does have a little bit left in the tank, but don't go crazy here. I think it's probably most likely, especially if Mike Pettin stays in Green Bay, that he goes to the Packers, ends up playing in that front, which would be so annoying, which would be so damn annoying, but it is what is in that spot. But anyways, just a fun little talker for today. But your thoughts, JJ Watt, although it might be against the new CBA to have two JJs on the team, but it's whatever. So Justin, James, Watt, Vikings, question mark? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work, pull some in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.